Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Apostate Prophet. Hope everybody's having a fantastic day. Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Apostate Prostate Show. I hope everybody is having a good evening and a good night, except those for whom it is not evening or night. So, I'm supposed to be live with David Wood, and David Wood is supposed to be here in a little bit. Unfortunately, he's a little bit late. He's supposed to be giving a speech or something and then hanging out and going back to his dwelling place, wherever the heck that may be. But he's supposed to be here in a little bit, and I want to review a discussion between an Orthodox priest, Father Josiah Trenum, and shout out also to the channel that actually hosted him, Lila Rose, or Lila Rose, however you people say it in your language. So I want you to have a look at that and see what's up. It seems that this priest said some really based words about Islam. I am, however, having to wait for late Vidwood. So until he comes here and joins, I will just spend time doing something else to spend my time here. Like, I don't know. I could probably start doing some dances or something, like TikTok dances. Yeah. Okay, my wife says it's Lila. I trust her. Okay, good. Wonderful, fantastic. No, Father Josiah Trenum. That's his name. Father Josiah Trenum. I actually know about him a little bit. Don't really listen much to him. And is not very much in the circles of people that I would necessarily like have a great listen to or anything, but he did say some things about Islam, and I see this guy a lot, so I see this priest a lot, so I would like to just have a look at that together with David Wood, especially since they're talking about Islam. The conversation is about Islam and war in Syria. Then he talks about Islam and Muslims, and she asks about moderate Muslims, and he's like he's not having it. So it's a very, very interesting conversation. Very, very, very interesting conversation. Give us his background. I can't give you his background because I can't grab that background. I'm being stupid now because that's apparently funny. No, his background. I have no idea about his background, man. I honestly have no idea about his background. Apparently, he was a Protestant at some point, or he was no. He probably talked about it here. Let's see. I'm sure somebody knows here. I'm sure somebody knows something about him. Antiochian Orthodox Christian. Orthodox Church, ordained as priest, was Presbyterian, later became Orthodox, and something like that. So seems like a man who is a priest. That's we have that confirmed at least. So that's good. Okay, yeah. Lila is in pro-life woman. Yes. Forest Dweller says, AP, are you trying to gradually shave your mustache down to the Austrian painter style? I am indeed. No, so what's happening with my mustache? I know some people were like, "What's happening there?" Is I have these habits of picking my my beard and my mustache and ripping it out. I know it's horrible, but I do that, and I try not to do it, but I sometimes find myself doing it, and then only notice that I have been doing it after it's already too late, and I already eliminated much of this part here. So I try to shave the other side down a little bit to kind of adjust, and that's basically what happens. Father Josiah Trenum is a PhD. What is he a PhD in? Graduated from Westminster Theological Seminary with an MDiv. He also studied this and this and that, and this and this and that. Father Josiah graduated from the University of Durham in England in 2004 with PhD in theology. Huh, interesting. Cool. I didn't really Okay, he's American. Parish is in Riverside, California. Cool. I only knew this guy as the good-looking priest. That's that. Yep. Okay. Stress picking his beard. Go to Turkey for hair implants. Next AP will start twirling the mustache and where the mustache ends. Yes, I will do that. I will do that soon. Anxiety, indeed, it is. That's what it is. Noam, what's up? What's up, Noam? How you doing? Igor, dude's yogi. Now give us his foreground, says Giovanni Garcia. Powerful. And we're proud of that, says.
We're proud of that.
Yeah. Apostolate prophet. What do you think of panentheism? What do I think of panentheism? I think it's a very, very interesting thing. Giovanni Garcia says that was not 23 minutes, AP. It wasn't 23 minutes. Not sure what you're talking about. I came here and I said I'm going to be 6 minutes late. And I went live exactly 6 minutes after it was time. So that's that. So, Rick Newton said, is it halal for daily wood to be late? It is actually not. And I told him that as well. I also messaged him, but I'm not sure what he's doing. He's probably partying or something. I don't know. Misha, how are you with closed communion of those only in the fold of your denomination, AP? That isn't what Jesus would do. Jesus had communion with people who made disciples uncomfortable. Jesus had communion with people who made disciples uncomfortable, scribing for Ezra. So here is the thing. I'm not going to have very strong opinions on communion and closed communion and all of that. I'm not going to spend any time, especially right now, focusing on any of that. There is one side of that discussion which is about salvation within or outside the church and all of that, where I have lots of questions, where I myself asked lots of questions to my own priest, and actually got very satisfying explanations to it, to be very honest, and pretty much agree in that regard with your sentiment, I would say. But when it comes to the whole communion aspect, I understand why the whole closed communion thing is a thing, but I don't have any opinions on that. Don't make me have opinions on this kind of stuff right now, especially not right now. I'm currently, I spent 10 years being in brutal atheism and brutal skepticism, and being in brutal, I have to know 100% and be sure 100% or else mood. I stopped that. I quit that after 10 years and went to a church where I became a catechumen. I am now on the path of learning the faith. And on the path of learning the faith, I also sat down and presented all the major questions that I basically had about God and Christianity to my priest, who is now my spiritual father. And he gave surprisingly good answers to my questions. I'm happy and I'm satisfied with it. All I want to do now is to focus on, it's kind of funny to say it this way, to focus on worship and focus on prayer and focus on learning and advancing. That's all I care about at the moment. I could sit here now and talk forever about my thoughts on the whole idea of the one true church, of communion, on salvation and this and that, but I don't want to do that because I would just be spewing my opinions on things that are, to me, at this point, trivial, and that people spend a lot of time fighting and discussing over, when in my opinion they should be spending their time for something more beneficial. Yeah. That's that. I hope that answers your, I hope that, I know it doesn't answer your question, but I hope it's a good, satisfying response to what you want to know. Paolo Lungaro, 3 minutes into the stream and you're already 450 watches more than Ali D the other night. Don't mock the guy, man. I don't want to pick on small YouTubers. It's not good. It's not cool. Giovanni Garcia now give us his foreground. Mandatory jizya, says Holy Joe, all ham to Allah. All ham due to Allah. Apostate prophet, what do you think of panentheism? I'm not really sure what I'm supposed to think of that. I'm not really sure what I'm supposed to, if I'm supposed to have any thoughts on that. I don't know. Am I? I don't want to concern myself with any of this at this moment. Seriously. Go with Christ. Have you read Father Josiah's book Rock and Sand yet? Such a great read. I didn't read it. I recently heard of it and it was suggested, and I wanted to look into it. Then I realized it's too expensive, so I didn't buy it yet. But I have so much to read right now, spending time on lots of reading material, including what I'm supposed to read given by my own priest in order to learn. And he told me explicitly, like after I had certain conversations with him about different people and all that, he told me, he said to me, get rid of all distractions. Don't engage with people in arguments. At this point, do not listen to different sources unless you really have to. Do not respond to people wanting to speak to you about things. Right now, only focus on your learning and on your catechism. And once you're ready, we can go there. And I thought, you know what, I love it. It's kind of funny because for 10 years, I just did whatever I wanted to do with my life. And I wasn't really happy for those 10 years. After 10 years of basically fundamentally valuing doing whatever I want to do, it feels very strangely satisfying to just listen to my priest and to set certain boundaries and to have behavioral limits and all that. I don't know. It's kind of funny how oddly satisfying it feels to suddenly just listen. Didn't think I would say something like this, but a lot has changed. A lot has changed, and Al-Uzza has also changed. Yeah. But I might have a look at that sometime in the future, inshallah. Father Josiah's book, Rock, Paper, Scissors. I will have a look at that. Just kidding, Rock and Sand. Lucas Ordonez says, is that icon in the background the icon of the 21 martyrs of Syria? It is indeed. It is indeed. Not Syria, but of, the Coptic ones, who were Egyptians abducted and taken to Libya and executed on the beach. I still want to watch the short film about these men. I want to do that together with David sometime. I think I obtained permission to view it on my channel and to go through it. But yeah, those brave men, Coptic Christians, were taken and brutally killed after being held for 45 days, beaten, starved, and told that they can go if they convert to if they convert to Islam, if they renounce Jesus. And all of them refuse. In fact, 20 of them were Coptic Christians. I think one of them was something else. He was from Ghana. But seeing the devotion of these 20, he basically said, I believe in whatever they believe. And then started learning their faith and saying, I also believe in Christ. And they all together died and were killed in a brutal video that ISIS recorded and published. So they are remembered as martyrs, and it's very, 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 very solid. Geraldine, AP sounds like sound advice. Focus on your spiritual journey with Jesus. Thank you. Thank you. I think so too. I think so too. I appreciate that very, very much. I appreciate that very, very, very much. AP is a member of the People of the Bookshelf. Yeah, this is a temporary bookshelf. I just received a bigger bookshelf that I'm going to start building, and it's going to be bigger in my background. then I'm going to start flashing the size of my bookshelf and saying, "Look at this! My bookshelf is bigger than yours." Definitely going to do that because I heard that that's what everyone has to do. If you claim to know something, you are supposed to have a bookshelf behind you. If you don't have a bookshelf behind you, you're basically a loser. That's it. That's what I learned from David Wood. Yeah. Okay, my wife apparently has the book. See, she has the book, Rock Paper Scissors by Father Josiah Trenham. I'm sorry. I know it's kind of funny and stupid to joke about this, but I don't want to disrespect the guy's book. It's called Rock and Sand, not Rock Paper Scissors. Stop joking about it. Have some respect, people. Where's Dawood Wood? He just said to me that he's going to be here in 5 minutes. So in 5 minutes we can start. Until then, I still will answer all your questions. If you want to say something that might be problematic when David Wood is here, now is the right time to say whatever you want, especially if you have something really, really bad to say about David Wood. You can say that right now. In a few minutes, it's going to be too late. Born Again Trucker, I'm just happy you accept Jesus Christ. If you want other viewpoints on the Orthodox faith, check out Gavin Ortland. Dude's got a PhD in theology. Thank you for the advice. Appreciate it. Captain Lamb, what drew you to the Orthodoxy over Catholicism, Protestantism, and Mormonism? Asking as a skeptic who is curious about religion. Well, I wouldn't classify. I mean, I wouldn't group Mormonism into with the others. Orthodoxy and Catholicism and Protestantism are all Christian. They're all Christianity. Mormonism is not Christianity. It's a new religion. It's a new sect, a new cult that is based on Christianity, but that is not Christianity. That contradicts with fundamental Christian beliefs and doctrines, and preaches a completely new and messed up world that is totally departed from Christian beliefs. So would definitely count that one out. And it's also it would also be, with all due respect, kind of dumb to go from non-Mormonism to Mormonism, considering that it's like the most obvious fake religion there is. Like, this is where we would probably have a disagreement with David. He would say that Muhammad is the most obvious false prophet in history. I would say Joseph Smith is definitely a more obvious false prophet. He obviously just made it up, So that said, love to Mormons and Utah and all that. Nothing against them. Just the religion is just garbage. But Orthodoxy or Catholicism or Protestantism, I think that I still have a lot of good feelings about Catholicism. And in fact, I would say the first thing that I started to do in terms of Christian practices was to do the rosary, which is, I still carry it with me. I use this to do the rosary, and I still do it. I asked my priest about it. He said there is nothing wrong with it. And still occasionally do it. I did it yesterday. And I think the whole connection with Mother Mary and the practice here is what drew me really closer to Christianity and made me love it. I still feel the need to go back to the rosary and all that. And I have a connection to Catholicism that I appreciate. I always thought that Catholicism was my favorite version of Christianity, if I can say that. But there are certain things that. Oh, here's the suspect.
Well.
What's up, man?
Yo, how's the audio? Because I don't have a mic. I got headphones. I forgot to bring a mic.
You look like a dork, man.
Oh yeah, I feel like a banker. I should change real quick. I'm speaking at a seminary that shall remain unnamed, so we don't get them harassed and stuff like this. But yeah, I had to dress up. I even had like dress pants and dress shoes and stuff on. What are you laughing at? I feel like a banker.
That sounds so lame, man.
No, they're super cool though. Place was packed, man. Place was packed. It's interesting that people are interested in learning about Islam.
Nice. Well, do you want to go change before you embarrass yourself here, or what do you want?
I could. This chair's not terribly comfortable. There's a nice chair there. I could just lay down. What am I doing? I'm right beside a bed. I could literally lay down in bed and be looking at this camera. I'm gonna do that.
That'd be kind of rude, but still, yeah, whatever. I was answering questions here anyway. So
I'm going to change real quick and then be in a completely different position, dressed completely differently, and possibly naked. I'll see everyone.
Too much information, but yeah.
I'll see everyone in a couple of seconds.
Okay. Yeah. The one thing that I don't want to engage in internal disagreements and all of that, but there are just certain things about Catholicism that eventually did not appeal to me, like which are more about certain historical developments and the authority and status of the Pope compared to things that recent popes have said that kind of, disturbed me a little bit, especially in terms of Islam, for example. I don't have any opinions on the doctrinal differences between Orthodoxy and Catholicism, although I see where the Orthodox tendency or decision to go their own way and to stick to the tradition were seemingly very valid within a traditional Christian perspective. And I also I like Orthodox worship. When I witnessed the Divine Liturgy, I loved it. I love going to I love going to church on Sunday now. Like during the week, I feel kind of empty, and I feel like I can't wait for Sunday to come so that I can go and participate in the liturgy again, and so on. But these are things that, as said, at this point, I would like to discuss less, maybe more in the future. I don't have any position against Catholicism, against Protestantism, or anything like that. I just feel like
I'm right back on here. You're talking
also-
trash about Protestants, man.
I also went with my wife's decisions and all that on this as well, not just with my own.
He's a weakling.
I'm kind of happy where I am, and it's good. David, what do you think about this? Why did you choose Orthodoxy over Catholicism, Protestantism, or Mormonism? Why didn't you choose Mormonism? What's wrong with you?
I don't know.
See? There you go. In your face. Boring politician. Just a reminder, Jesus loves you, AP. Really? I had no idea.
Been humiliated.
Thank you. Appreciate that. Itchy Cinder Block. Right on. Loving God comes first. All things flow from that. Prayer and scripture gets you there. Debating theological minutiae sadly can be an idol. Yeah, I noticed that a lot. It's like, and a lot of people do this whole thing too. And I don't want to bash others now, ironically, while talking about how bad it is to bash each other. But a lot of people do this whole thing where they convert or choose a certain church and then go online and start talking trash about others and justifying their own. It's like, why are you doing that? It's so weird to me, and I don't want to engage in any of that in the harsh form or the soft form. So.
Hey, remember that's connected to what I've been saying. This when people feel like they're being attacked, the tendency is to join a group and then demonstrate your worth to the group by defending the group and attacking other groups and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And that's part of human nature. It's just it gets dialed up at certain periods in history when everyone feels like they're being attacked all the time for some reason.
That's true. Favidio said, "Why did you destroy Ali Dawa? That wasn't nice." He destroyed himself. It wasn't my fault. So, Circa SG07. Hi AP, so happy to call you brother. We loved you when you was atheist, agnostic, and we love you now. May you abound in the love of Christ. God bless you. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. I still haven't called myself a Christian because I'm kind of saving that for a moment or so.
You have to be like Lily J and say, if this gets 1,000 likes, then I will call myself a Christian.
Now I want to test it just to see if we would get the same reaction as Lily J. Man.
If anyone doesn't know what we're talking about, she said something like, if this gets 1,000 likes, I'll post my Shahada video. And you look at the comments, and even Muslims are like, come on, 1,000 likes for your Shahada video and stuff like that. But then when she posted it, it's Alhamdulillah, so sincere, so great. What a religion.
Did she actually post it?
Yeah.
I didn't check it.
I didn't see it, but I saw she posted a video. And they're all, alhamdulillah, so beautiful.
Alhamdulillah, you see. Vyativista, dear AP, the strength of a person's spirit would then be measured by how much truth one could tolerate. Nietzsche. Just find it fitting given your conversion. Make of that what you will. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Jewish skeptic says, glory to God that you came to Christ, AP. Even though I am Eastern Orthodox, I would still be joyful regardless. Sucks you will now be bombarded with why not X denomination. I just pray all the churches will unite. Wouldn't that be amazing if that happened?
Yeah. Hey, by the way, isn't that, I mean, it's interesting because like I used to hear like,
me too. Yeah.
Once or twice a month. Like, why aren't you Catholic, David? Now it's like 50 times. Now it's like 50 times a day. Why aren't you this or why aren't you that or why aren't you this or why aren't you that?
Don't you feel like there has been like a rise in kind of a strange online Christian attitude on social media, where people are trying to do this whole being trad Christian and then being like very combative and fighting each other and all of that. That's kind of that wasn't there a while ago. That's very recent.
That's what I mean. Like if you're looking at that and you think it's cool, then you're like, oh, I want to be part of that group. But then you have to start acting exactly like that group to show that you're part of that group. And you can't question that group because then you'd be cast out of that group. So that's how it works.
Read any AP Chesterton Bonanza of Timeless Quotes? No. David loves.
You should read. Try reading like a chapter of Orthodoxy. Matter of fact, since you're becoming Orthodox, Orthodoxy would be the way to go. Even though he was Protestant, and then I think worked Church of England, and then became Catholic eventually. But read a chapter, either the Suicide of Thought or the Flag of. Read the Flag of the World. Read one chapter from G.K. Chesterton's Orthodoxy. And if you like it, you'll want to read more Chesterton. If you don't like it, then you'll know. You'll get an idea. Flag of the World in Chesterton's Orthodoxy.
Inshallah. Pat's Leatherstrap said the bookshelf is massive. AP sits on a bar stool. This is actually true. I didn't want to say it, but it's true. Rick Newton, rock, paper, wood. David Winger is late again. Yeah.
Really? I'm right here.
Finally,
Rick Newton
says, I know it is Catholic book, but I would recommend My Daily Bread. Short meditations and prayers that help to keep a person grounded. Thank you. Appreciate that. Appreciate that. Your bookshelf has to be at least 9 years old to conservate. What's wrong with you? Lucas Ordonez.
Not if there are signs of maturity.
If there are signs. Lucas, I know you have a way to go, but do you have an idea of who you want your patron saint to be? I do have two in mind, and I think I have one that I decided on, and that also my priest said. I think that should be a patron saint. And I'm not sure if I want to talk about it. So,
Saint Based.
Saint Bastel. No, it's the funny thing is that my priest didn't know about the saint. I actually went there and told him, because it's a saint that is more recognized in Western tradition and in Catholicism, but also recognized as a saint in the Eastern Orthodox Church, and that is Saint Martin. Saint Martin of Tours.
We all thought you were going to say Trump.
No. Saint Martin of Tours, who was a Roman soldier in the 300s and was riding through a cold winter night one day with his Roman cloak, and on his way, almost arriving home, he sees on the roadside an old beggar man who is freezing to death, and he's like, "Please help me!" And Saint Martin goes over to him and cuts part of his cloak and gives it to this man, and then rides home, and then apparently later on that night has a dream, and Jesus comes to him and gives him the cloak back, or something like that. And then he decides to quit the army and becomes a monk, and later actually becomes bishop of Tours. So, and I got that from, as a child, actually, when I was a child in Germany, a Muslim child.
When I was a child,
We would go to
oh,
school,
child.
and we would sing a song for Saint Martin, a kid's song. And as a child, I always loved that. As a Muslim child, I always loved that. And that whole him going there and giving his cloak to that man, and that being taught to us through a song, always stuck with me as a child, and I loved it. And
Ooh, singing.
yeah, so I don't know. I kind of told my priest about this and thought maybe I should do that. It goes like this: Saint Martin, Saint Martin, Saint Martin. Yeah, something like
goes, Baka, Baka, Kuchen. Hey,
what?
We're YouTubers, man. If you're gonna do something like that, you should reenact the entire thing with you as Saint Martin to tell the story.
Yeah, well, it's fine. They actually do that in parts of Germany, and let me see.
No, we should make it good.
Yeah, maybe we could just copy it from them and make it better. Let's see, Saint Martin, Sankt Martin. Oh, there's also a place named Sankt Martin. Let's see. Yeah, they actually do that, man. They actually reenact that in Germany and in other places. Look at this.
In Deutschland.
They do it in schools. They sing songs. They do this in Germany. They do little walks and stuff. It's kind of funny. That's what I learned, man. That's what I learned. I haven't watched it right here. Look at that. Anyway. So, enough of that. Let's get to the video that we want to talk about and watch. David, have you heard of this man named Father Josiah Trenum?
I think I've seen a picture or something. I don't know if it was from... Did you post anything about this guy before at any point, or was that someone else?
My wife might have posted about him.
I remember the beard. I remember the beard.
I think I may
never
have
forget a
mentioned
beard.
him to you. We were live one time, and I mentioned him to you because somebody brought him up, and we talked about him, and we talked about his book, and you looked up that book, which is called Rock, Paper, Scissors. No, it's not called Rock, Paper, Scissors. It's called Rock and Sand. Father Josiah Trenum, Rock and Sand. Somebody brought that up, and you said, "Whoa, this book is based. I want to get it and read it." I remember that.
That's true. That's what I do.
So, but he was here in an interview with Lila Rose. I don't really know who Lila Rose is and what she does. I think this is a Catholic channel or something.
I've heard that name though.
And
don't know anything about it.
He went on there to talk about various things, and he also ended up talking about Islam. And I thought this is worth listening to. So let's have a look at that.
You said worthless ending too.
I think this is worthless ending too.
Successors to Al Qaeda, what are called ISIS. These are the outbreak of what we would know as the successors to Al Qaeda, what are called ISIS. These are Sunni jihadis who view the murder of Christians who resist conversion to Islam as an imperative.
I think there's a lot of people who look at the Middle East and they just see constant, from their, Western vantage point, maybe American vantage point, maybe constant turmoil, dictators that get deposed, new regimes that, come to power, warring in between sects of Islam, radical Islamists, ISIS, Al Qaeda, emerging, different sects fighting. And then there's Christians who are kind of caught up in the middle of the firestorm.
Islam is the most disruptive historical development in the history of Christianity.
Did you hear that?
That's true. That's true. They conquered like 80% of the Muslim world.
Yeah.
I mean, 80% of the Christian world.
Yeah. He said it right there. Islam has been the most disruptive historical development in the history of Christianity. So,
and he will be defrocked for saying this tomorrow.
Not in the Orthodox Church. She's a pro-life. Okay, man. Everybody's bashing me because I don't know her. But
Yeah, how could you not know?
how could you not know? What's wrong with you? You're sick.
Did you
You're
not know
sick.
she's pro-life? Shame
You're
on you. Shame on
YouTube channel. How did you not know her?
Yes. Why
yeah,
don't
people
you
are
go
saying-
jump off a bridge?
People are saying you should read Rock and Sand. Powerful. Lila is a legend. She's pro-life. She's pro-life channel. Lila is Rosa's Catholic channel. Very anti-abortion. She's pro-life activist.
Wait,
advocate and debate destiny.
wait.
in the past.
So what branch of Christianity is she, and what moral issue does she deal with?
I don't know. I wish somebody told me. Yeah. I have no idea.
No one will tell us.
I have no idea. I'm just gonna sit here and wonder who she is. So, whatever. We will never know.
Muhammad was born in 570 in what is now Saudi Arabia. And by the time he finished, by 630 or so, he had led
632, liar.
raids against Jewish and Christian tribes.
He doesn't know. He doesn't even know.
If he doesn't even know that it was 632, how can you trust anything he says?
He had
If he
led
doesn't know, he's got to go.
25 raids against Jewish and Christian tribes, unprovoked. He established a worldview in Islam.
Is this true, David? Did he?
Unprovoked. They didn't believe him. What more provocation could he ask for?
Is this true, David? Did he raid Jews and Christians unprovoked? Did Muhammad do such a thing?
Yeah, and pagans.
Why would he do that?
Because he wanted their stuff.
Well, that makes sense. Okay.
Yeah, I mean, think. If you've got something and I want it, why shouldn't I just take it? This is Muhammad's realization. Great. Wait, they've got stuff that I want, but I can just get my followers to help me take it. And I can build an entire religion around this.
And then you can say, I give you two good options.
I give you two good options. You said I'll take them, and we'll take your stuff.
That divides the whole world into two. You know, we do this too as Christians, right? We view the whole world in two parts. The area that has been evangelized, that has heard the good news and has had an opportunity to believe in Jesus and to enter into the kingdom of God, and those parts of the world that have not yet been evangelized. For us, that's how Christians are always looking at it. Islam views the world in two parts, what they call the House of Islam. The House of Islam is where not just there are predominance of Muslims,
Say
but
Dar
where
es Salaam.
Sharia or Muslim law is in force. If it's not in force, there may be a majority of Muslims, but they don't consider that truly the House of Islam. The rest of the world, you know what they call the rest of the world? The House of War. That's how a Muslim divides. That's the Quran.
It was actually surprising to me that that a priest sits down and talks about this on camera, and that he also knows the concepts here, that he can deliver the idea here. This is a very important thing to bring up when you want to talk about Islam and why it's so violent and disruptive, and how it's different from Christianity, and why it has been violently subjugating others and making life worse for everyone and so on. He has the whole idea of how Islam views the world as Darul Harb, which is house of war, and Darul Islam, which is house of Islam or house of peace. So that's how Islam sees the world. He knows the concept. He's not making this up. I learned the very same thing growing up as a Muslim. I learned that any place that is not under Islamic law is a Darul Harb, that this is a land of war, which is meant to be fought and brought under Islamic dominance. Now, there is one more thing, which is that normally, historically seen, Muslims have always considered a place that once has come under Islamic dominance permanently as a house of Islam. And that place should always be a house of Islam. And if it falls out of the hands of Islam, then it must be brought back into the hands of Islam at some point in one way or another. This has always been an Islamic idea. But this is basically how Islam divides the world. He's completely correct on that. Although David thinks this is nonsense.
No, what's interesting is you're talking about how refreshing it is to have a priest talking about this, and I'm sitting here thinking, given what's going on in the world and how long it's been going on, shouldn't every priest be talking about this stuff and know this stuff? Like, shouldn't this be required basic knowledge for Christians, especially Christian leaders at this point? It's like, how is it like with all the Christians in the world and all the different priests and pastors and stuff like that? It's like still surprising to us when one sounds knowledgeable about Islam at all.
Shocking. This priest says something that everyone should have been saying
Priest
for 50,000 years.
Priest humiliates all weakling Christians. Based priest humiliates weakling Christians.
Unfortunately, I feel like this guy can say it without any consequences because he's a traditional Antiochian Orthodox priest. I would imagine that
Then I'm converting to Antiochian.
if he was a Catholic priest, he would probably get in trouble for saying stuff like this, and would be summoned and all that. That's how I feel. I don't know.
I don't know about the different groups. Are Antiochian priests allowed to bang their wives? And there's like Anglican priests, they can do it. What is this? What is an Antiochian?
I mean, you could.
Decide whether to convert or not, man.
Oh, okay.
I'm wondering if I would be accepted because I'm married.
Are you going to become a priest?
Yeah, why not? What else? I'm trying to get a cool beard.
Because otherwise, why are you asking that question?
I'm trying to get a cool beard and get the cool outfit like this dude, and then be super based Antiochian.
Yeah, well, so they have this thing. They don't have to be celibate. They can have relationships. They can have a family. I think in Orthodoxy, it's generally that certain people traditionally were expected to be celibate, but for regular priests, it's not an expectation to be that way. You can be married, totally fine. If that answers, hope that answers the question.
You didn't answer the question, man. I'm trying to find out. I do not have all the.
Yes.
I don't have the various priests clear in my head, and someone will say he's a priest, and then he's got like 50 kids, and I don't know what's going on because I'm like, you're a priest. Anyway, sorry.
So yes, I answered your question. The answer is yes, they can.
Okay.
So,
Good.
So
Antiochian just means that historically there has been this thing called the Pentarchy, which would be the 5 holy sees where Rome was counted back then, but Rome, Constantinople, Alexandria, Antioch, and Jerusalem, and they all had their own bishops or patriarchs. Later, when Orthodoxy separated from Catholicism, Russia, Moscow emerged as another patriarchate, and so on. But Antiochian would be from the Antioch patriarchate and tradition. So that's that.
Everyone could just become a Baptist. They don't have to worry about all this stuff.
You don't have to worry about this stuff anyway.
Oh.
You can imagine what that means for Christians. What that means for Christians and has meant for Christians since 634, when the Muslims came into Jerusalem and then into Damascus and then into all of our major cities in North Africa, and then started their jihad across the Mediterranean Sea, coming into the southern parts of France and Spain. What that has meant for us is several things. One, if you want to maintain your freedom, you want to maintain your rights, you have to convert to Islam. If you do that as a Christian, you've lost your soul. You've betrayed God. You've become what the church calls an apostate. God forbid. Most of our people didn't do that. Some did.
You mean you're saying historically, or you're saying recently?
I'm saying since the 7th century.
Since the 7th century.
Until today.
Until today, right.
Absolutely until today. This is Islam. It's
Well,
not a type of Islam.
It's the idea of this, how...
Did you hear that? He said this is Islam. It's not a type of Islam. This is Islam.
This
is what Islam has generally done.
This guy seems pretty smart and based. I just can't get past him saying 6:30 instead of 6:32, man.
Yeah, my wife says there are many Antiochian churches in America. Most parishioners now are converts. Yeah, that's apparently a thing. And this is something that happens in America, for example, where Orthodox Christianity is like later on spreads wildly, and then different branches and traditions spread within. Normally, in regular Orthodox Christian countries, you don't go around thinking, "Oh, am I going to a Russian church or an Antiochian church or a Greek church?" You just go to whatever church your country usually has. But this is something that especially America has, as a society where most people under Orthodoxy are converts. They go into one of those traditions, So that's that.
But there's always a Baptist church.
Yeah. But then you just miss out on all the tradition, Oh, I know. Look, AP had Catholicism, left Orthodoxy. I know somebody was going to come and say something like that. When I say, look, I know the disagreement and the discussion here, which is that from the Orthodox perspective, it was the Catholic Church that basically abandoned Orthodoxy by adopting certain decisions and all on all of that. But when I am saying Orthodoxy separates from Catholicism historically, I'm only speaking technically, which would be that the Orthodox Church, so the other bishops, in response to the Catholic Church taking certain decisions, said we don't want to be part of this anymore because you have abandoned the tradition. You have abandoned traditional Christianity. You have abandoned Orthodoxy. So they have then become separate. And from the Orthodox perspective, you don't want to say you have become separate because that's not how you view it. But I'm speaking of the technical aspect, where Orthodoxy is actually the one that takes the decision that Rome doesn't follow the tradition properly anymore, which is why we need to separate. So not making a statement against anybody here. I'm just being as technical as possible. Hope that's a question.
So can an Orthodox priest get married?
Yes. I hope that's another question.
Did the early church win souls? Martyrdom and poverty, you say, and the influence and love, of course.
Absolutely.
And then how did Islam win its first
Jesus
conquest?
said, "No greater witness do we have, no greater potency than this, that we love one another." He said, "By this, all men will know that you're my disciples." What's the ultimate apologetic? If you love one another the way I loved you. This is how we won the world.
Catholics and Orthodox have to get together, but that's a whole other. We do love each other, of course.
Yes, I think we do.
We do, of
not
course.
the Protestants.
Islam, it was a religion with its early, centuries marked in violence to conquer.
Lila, there's 100 in my count. I used to teach a class at the local Christian university called Cal Baptist in my town, called The Cross and the Crescent: The History of Christian-Muslim Relations. When I was teaching that class, I read through the Quran many times in preparation for class. And I noted how many direct commands to violence Muhammad gave. My count, 123. 123 explicit commands
124
to violence to those who...
Learn to read, buddy. Learn to count.
So 123 commands to violence, he says.
Resisted the advance of Islam, and particularly to Christians, including details on how to kill us. Stab them in the neck. I mean, this is one of his commands. It's not a coincidence that many people in England who have suffered Islamic violence have been stabbed in the neck. People go, "Oh, they got stabbed in the neck because the person was crazy." Actually, he was just following Muhammad's commandments.
What do you make of
47 verse 4, ladies and gentlemen?
The funny thing is, when I heard him say this, I immediately thought of Robert Spencer, because this is something that Robert Spencer will often bring up and say when he describes terrorist attacks by Islamic terrorists. He will draw attention to the fact that the Quran is specific on striking their necks and all that, and will then point out that this is something that Islamic terrorists tend to frequently do, where they attack non-Muslims, in non-Muslim countries and strike their necks or stab their necks, and this is directly tied to or connected to the Quran or inspired by it. This is not a not a point, not a talking point that I ever really went into, but as soon as he said it, as soon as I heard him say it, this just reminded me immediately of Robert Spencer.
Yeah, when we do This Week in Jihad, Robert's telling the stories, and he always goes, and a Muslim stabbed someone. Guess where they stabbed him? And I go, I'll guess the neck for 200. And he goes, wow, I don't know how you do it. As far as this dude's voice and the cadence of his speaking, it reminds me of Jay Smith. Guy has a similar tone and cadence to his speaking.
Nice. But do you agree with what he said, or do you think it's Islamophobic?
Well, it's Islamophobic, but I agree with it.
Interesting. Okay. So which verse is that again, David?
What?
Stabbing them in the neck.
Did you say version?
Verse.
Oh, 47:4.
47:4. There you go. Now, if those of you who are at home watching this before your televisions want to fact check this and open the Quran to that verse, you will of course find out that it doesn't say that at all. It says Islam is a religion of peace
and tolerance.
There you go.
The person was crazy. Actually, he was just following Muhammad's commandments.
He was just following the book and the man. The book and the man.
Obviously, we had Bill Asaley on the show recently. He's a California assemblyman. He's not Riverside County, he's adjacent, but really solid guy. He's quoting Mother Teresa, in our interview. Good man, and he's fighting for pro-life. He's fighting for marriage.
Sure.
And, here he is born and raised a Muslim. And still, I don't get into the details of his faith practice, but you have a lot of Muslims like this who, or a country like Jordan, where you presumably have, Muslims, Christians, Jewish people, or Israel, Muslims, Christians, and Jewish people living together in largely harmony. Obviously, there can be some friction around the edges.
I'm not sure I would.
Did you see his face?
No, I didn't. Where?
Obviously, there can be some friction around the edges.
That dude's funny. Friction around the edges.
He's like, really?
Little friction.
Or Israel, Muslims, Christians, and Jewish people living together in largely harmony. Obviously, there can be some friction around the edges.
I'm not sure I would describe the coexistence of Christians, Muslims, and Jews in the Middle East as largely in harmony.
I'm playing a devil's advocate to say in some cases there can be, if I have Muslim
this is nice, man.
here to kind of say, hey, I'm a moderate Muslim.
The majority, there are forms of Muslims, right? The majority are the Sunni, and the Sunni have given us the hardest time. So I mentioned traveling in Syria in 2010. 2011, the war broke out, and now we don't have 2 million Christians in Syria anymore. Maybe we have 300,000 or 400,000.
Incredible.
Yeah.
There used to be how many?
2 million.
2 million Christians in Syria.
That was just in 2010. There used to be a lot more than that.
In 2010.
2010.
And now it's down to a few
Vast
100,000.
majority are gone. Absolutely.
And they've fled or they've been killed.
Yeah, she said Jews, Christians, Muslims, and Jews in Jordan. There are no Jews in Jordan. So she might have gotten that mixed up. The only place where there is still a significant Jewish population living is Israel. There are no Jews left in Jordan. It would be too difficult, too dangerous to live there. So
both.
Incredible. Hundreds of thousands
I'll give you an
of Christians,
example.
over a million,
I stayed,
fled or killed.
Both.
Now it's down to a few
Vast
100,000.
majority are gone. Absolutely.
And they've fled or they've been killed.
Both.
Incredible. Hundreds of thousands
I'll give you an
of Christians,
example.
over a million,
I stayed,
fled or killed.
When I was there, I stayed in the ancient city of Aleppo. It's the largest city in Syria in the north.
I'd love to visit one day.
Incredible town. An incredible town, literally going back to the time of the apostles. So I met there. I was hosted by the Metropolitan Archbishop Boulos Yaji, who was a man of incredible talents and gave us a wide tour of his metropolis there and all the ministries that were going on. He had an internet cafe for the young people. I played basketball with his with the young people there at his metropolis. He had a
Gotab always comes to the rescue and says, I think she doesn't know much about Islam. Her main focus is her pro-life work, to be fair. I know you feel the need to defend her because she's your favorite activist and all that. I get it. And I was not trying to be mean, just pointing out that she got that wrong about Jordan. So
Wait, what's she
Stop
known
crying.
for? What's she known for?
I don't really know, man. I have no idea.
Like knitting? What? She have a knitting channel, baking channel? What does she do?
I think she might do photography. I don't know.
Oh, okay, that's pretty cool. That's why she has a good set here. Like looks
Yeah.
really high. Looks like really high quality. That's what you get if you're a photographer and you go to making videos. You get really good lighting and stuff like that because you have a photographer's eye.
Yeah, just like IP, for example.
IP too.
Monastery in his on the third, I think it was a 7th floor. It's a 7th floor, like archdiocesan bishopric, and on one of the floors were the nuns. It was just an unbelievable place. We went across into Turkey. We got to see so many churches there, and of course our ancient cathedral in Antioch, which is the home of St. John Chrysostom. It's where he's born and raised. Just to the north of there, there's a mountain in which 300 monks lived in caves at the time that St. John Chrysostom, who was born in 347, when he was growing up. I mean, that's like what they went to see on feast days. They would just walk, 1.5 miles to the mountain and have a conversation with the Syrian ascetic who had been there for 20 years in a cave. I mean, this is how they lived. This is the potency of Christianity. Well, it was less than a year after I left Aleppo that on a humanitarian mission, Metropolitan Boulos and his driver were stopped by Sunni jihadis. They pulled his deacon out of the driver's seat. They shot him in the head right in front of him, and we have never seen our Metropolitan Archbishop since. We prayed for him every day in our churches for over 10 years.
Meaning he was kidnapped.
He was kidnapped and presumably killed.
But you've never had been able to find the body or bury.
Our Patriarch John X is blood brothers with Metropolitan Paul. Metropolitan Boulos means Paul. Metropolitan Paul and Patriarch John are literal brothers. They have a third sister, who's a nun in Syria, in one of our monasteries.
So you know that
Yeah, I don't know if you know about that story, David. You probably don't, because you don't concern yourself with people in the Middle East. But I only heard about this. I heard about this long ago, but I recently looked into the details of this as I was looking into the different churches and the Orthodox Church and Antioch. Let's see, Boulos, Antioch. Let's see. So, abducted bishops Johanna Ibrahim and Boulos Yazigi. They were, let's see what happened there. So he basically just described it. He was kidnapped on, so here you have the article. Johanna Ibrahim, also Gregorius Johanna Ibrahim, is the Syriac Orthodox Archbishop of Aleppo. He was kidnapped on April 22, 2013, along with Paul, the Greek Orthodox Metropolitan. This one is the person they're talking about, Boulos al-Yazigi. Yeah, this happened under Islamic territory during the civil war in Syria. This is what happens under Islam.
I said Paul Yazigi.
Yazigi, Yaziji. Sunrise in Paradise said Bolus because there's no P in Arabic. Yes, that's precisely why. I hope he didn't mean to tell me that.
Yeah, yeah. We all know he's the apostate prophet.
Yes. Gotham said I can cry whenever I want. You can't. Stop it.
deacon he was with was shot.
We
That's
have pictures
confirmed.
of that. Yeah.
Lord have mercy, but you don't know what happened
We
to.
have never been able to find. Our patriarch has literally, with the collaboration of the Pope, with the collaboration of presidents of countries, have put pressure on the Turkish government. Some people in Turkey say a judge revealed that he punished some jihadis who claimed to have murdered him and buried him in the sand. But we don't know. We just don't know.
Yeah,
still missing. Happened. Do you have a sense of what you think might have happened?
I don't know. But this is 2013. This is 12 years ago. That's a long time not to hear from him, huh? It's a long time not to hear from him. And so our patriarch finally did replace him. So we have a new metropolitan archbishop there. But just to bring this from 2011 to today, when the president Assad was driven out of Damascus and fled to Russia, and the jihadis,
The Syrian president.
that's right, the president of
Assad,
Syria,
yeah.
who had been president for many years and succeeded his father, they are by the Western media considered to be terrible tyrants. All I can speak for is the reality that under this family dictatorship, the Christians have fared much better than we have fared under Sunni Muslims.
And what
Now, this is a very, very interesting part and perspective to go into, because David, you probably remember we have heard objections when we talked about Assad, the dictator of Syria, who recently fled to Russia to be with Putin. Whenever we talked about him and how bad he was, and how bad those who replace him will be, we received some responses from people saying stuff like Assad was good to minorities, Assad was good to Christians, and so on. So he, for example, also points out that under Assad, the Christians were generally treated well. But this is the thing. It could be that under the Assad regime, the Christians and other minorities were treated relatively better than under Islamic rule. And we will also point this out, that the Islamists who are coming in place of Assad, the dictator, will probably be worse toward the disbelievers, toward the Christians and the others. However, just because the new ones are worse, that doesn't mean that the old one was good, right? The old one was also oppressive of different minorities. He was corrupt as corrupt as it gets. He was a violent guy who had people disappeared all the time. People were tortured in his chambers and so on. There's a constant fight, a constant conflict in the Middle East, including in Syria, going on between different factions of Muslims. And Assad was only a part of that entire conflict. Under some people, the Christians might be treated better than under others. That doesn't mean that those leaders are good people. They are all pretty messed up.
Yeah, I mean, our perspective was basically dictator, but better than what's going to come after him. It's similar to Saddam Hussein. Saddam Hussein was an evil dictator. He was massively better than ISIS. Massively better than ISIS.
That's true. That's true. It sounded like you wanted to continue saying something, but apparently you don't have many words. So.
No.
Good.
you mean by that is there haven't been as many outright acts of violence by jihadists.
The family comes from a Muslim sect called the Alawites, and the Alawites are kind of a mix of Christian and Muslim and don't practice jihad like the Sunnis do. So Christians have been able to have a little bit of peace. I'll tell you, though, the current archbishop.
The thing is that it's even more complicated than that. The Alawites are basically a sect that comes from Islam. Their name is based on Muhammad's cousin and son-in-law, Ali. They're basically they're
because Muhammad was white. And so
yeah.
They went with the whole family. We're all whites.
Yeah, all whites. So they were all white. The Alawites are basically based on Ali. So they are based on Islamic tradition. They are a Shia offshoot, a Shia sect. But the thing is that they have that they had become over history so incredibly detached from Islamic tradition and Islamic worship, and had become kind of their own little religion that is esoteric, highly mystical, secretive, that doesn't have one certain book, but that has different texts that represent them. But usually their religious practices are kept oral and taught from generation to generation, not shared with others in written form, and so on. But apparently they only began recently re-identifying as Muslims in order to be accepted in a Muslim society, or to be accepted as rulers, for example. But they're not really Muslim. They're a weird, wild little sect. Not a very good sect. They have some history of hate and fighting and all that. And they do have a history of being brutal to the other side as well. There are two sides of evil and two sides of messed up in the Middle East. It's not just the Sunnis who are the messed up ones, it's also the Shia that are really messed up. The two sides will frequently brutalize each other, kill each other, torture each other, and so on. The Alawites may not be inherently Islamic and traditionally jihadist and so on, but they also, especially over the last century, aligned themselves with those Shiites who became very violent and hostile toward the Sunnis. So it's just a giant soup of evil, you know.
It is, and plus you have this situation, since there's like they don't have any concept of, okay, we need to move forward, so we need to forgive and clean the slate and things like that. So what you'll have is a group gets to power, and then they punish the group. They punish the group for what they did in the past, but then eventually a different group rises to power, and then now we get our get back and we get to kill all you guys. And then, okay, another 50 years later, then that group takes back over again. We're going to kill you all back. And these guys will be killing each other for stuff that happened 12 centuries ago.
Yeah.
And yep.
This is the thing. This is why they should convert to Christianity and learn a sense of forgiveness or something.
Yeah, we're gonna have to impose Christianity on all of Syria. It's the only way.
Yeah, we need to forcibly impose Christianity on everyone and learn them to be forgiving and loving. So
You said learn them to be. It's teach them. Teach them.
I did say that. Yeah.
In your defense, I do have some hillbilly relatives who say that we got to go learn them something.
Oh man, there is somebody who said something accurate here. Storm D said, in summary, if Assad wanted to stay in power, he should have cared about his population and not fight wars for the Ayatollah. This is also another aspect, which is that the Assad family, Bashar al-Assad and his father, Hafiz al-Assad, they weren't necessarily good guys who just wanted peace and prosperity for their own population. They were also famously meddling in Middle Eastern affairs and siding with the Shia side in fighting against the other, and so on. It is because their ideology that they also had in common with Saddam Hussein, the Ba'athist ideology. Their ideology is not an ideology that is focused on having a peaceful society. It is an ideology that is focused on pan-Arab future, where they are supposed to overthrow governments and unite the Arab world under some weird nationalist, secularist, pan-Arab ideal. And the Middle East is just completely messed up, man. I don't know.
Yeah, and in the situation, you can't even blame Assad for various alliances, because here's the thing: if your group is persecuted at one time and you have a chance to get to power, you want to form alliances because and you understand you basically have to be brutal because everyone's coming after you. And so you're not even going to be able to maintain power at all unless you're just brutal. So you have to be brutal, and you have to form alliances with other brutal people. But then eventually someone else comes along and look how brutal this guy was. It's like, yeah, that's the only way to maintain any sort of power. And you can rationalize all the brutal stuff you do, because it's like, well, if I don't do this, then someone else is going to take over, and here's what they're going to do to me. So I got to do it and stuff. And it's just this endless cycle of blood, man.
This is why we should force them all to convert to Christianity. That's what I'm saying.
We should.
Yeah.
We should. You know what? You know what we're gonna have to do? We're gonna have to say, you go ahead and draw your map. You give Israel everything they want, and then everything else will be taken over by Christians.
Then I will have to draw Greater Israel, man. It's like where they take Egypt and the north of Arabia,
they can have it
way over to the Levant and so on.
We don't want it.
Something that only online groupers believe in. Hey, did you see this guy, Muslim cowboy?
Oh, I'm the Muslim cowboy. What do you say?
As an American, I want to see Sharia law in all 50 states.
So we can bang all the little girls we want. Yeah.
And I said, as an American, we have guns.
Yeah. Classic AP.
No,
you always have the sickest burns.
No, I don't.
That one time, the most cold-blooded thing I've ever seen in my life is when Hijab said, "Our strength is in our numbers," and you just posted, "Numbers can be reduced." It's like the most cold-blooded thing ever. Oh boy!
I think I actually ratioed him on that. It's kind of fun.
That's messed up.
Well, I have to check that, man. I forgot about that. I have to check that now. I've completely forgot about that, man.
Boy.
Reduced. Let's see. Let us see. Let us see. Here it is. There it is. If we increase our birth rates, Muslims can be assured to be 10% of Britain and 20% of France population in 2050, despite any policy changes in immigration. We are not the Zionist lobby. Our strength is not in our ability to influence politicians. Our strength is in our numbers. And I said numbers can be reduced. So. Look at that, 9.2 thousand likes and 9.1 thousand.
And that's after he got like all those shares and stuff. That's funny.
Yeah. This means I'm right.
Classic
right.
Classic AP.
And he said, "Not by you, big man."
Big man.
What a stupid comeback. Like,
yeah. Not by you, big man. You came up with the sickest burn of all time. And then he comes back, "Not by you, big man."
Not by you. I mean, yeah, not by me. Why would you even suggest that? Well, how would that even work? So dumb. Anyway, those were times when I was a sick guy.
You're sick.
I'm just sick.
So this is only several months old now. The current Archbishop of Aleppo, as soon as the new temporary leader in Syria, who is a full-blown ISIS jihadi, that is his history. He came from the north.
Wait, no. I remember he took off his ISIS clothes and put on a suit. So, dude, you're wrong. He put on a suit, man.
Yeah,
What did it take to prove that he's a different man? He put on a suit.
I'm a changed man. I promise. Those days are behind me. I'm going to be a good boy. I'm going to take care of you. Yeah. Just one correction here. It's not ISIS, it's Al-Qaeda. He was a member of Al-Qaeda, and he also worked together with ISIS. So just want to point that out here. Not ISIS.
So you're saying this guy's completely ignorant.
He doesn't even know that it was actually Al-Qaeda. See, it's not that bad.
He thinks Muhammad died in 630, not 632.
No, much respect. So he's actually quite on point in.
Oh, he is extremely on point, shockingly on point. In fact, you should try and get this dude on your show.
He probably wouldn't like me because I'm a Zionist.
You should message him though and say, "I challenge you to debate me."
I saw one thing in the past that I wanted to kind of engage with back in the day, where he talked about Gaza, and in that regard, I would say he's not very knowledgeable. He was repeating the narrative that Palestinians lived there and then were kicked out or something in 1948, which is like, it's a very popular and a very false narrative, often spread by the descendants of people who were involved in the 1948 war. But yeah, at least on this point here, he's pretty correct.
in Damascus with American weapons. That is very, very concerning to me.
And his American weapons were received how?
From our government directly. We have been supporting jihadis. They went from being our enemies to our agents because our government has been very opposed to the Assad regime for decades. So
and
we
this
were
is
playing
a common, just, obviously people listening are probably familiar with this, but it's a common American, tactic to, create instability in some of these regions because we see, the prevailing power as we wanting to destabilize the prevailing power. But then you end up arming, someone else who might become the prevailing power that
we love to rule
isn't
the
your
world.
friend.
We're very arrogant from our perspective, from my
You
perspective.
see it as pure arrogance.
I think we're very arrogant. I think we're an imperial power. Traditional Americana.
We're talking about, I'm not arrogant. I'm not arrogant. My name is literally the most humble. What are you talking about?
No, you will be humiliated for calling me arrogant.
Dare you call me arrogant?
That was a cool place to stop the video there. Look at him.
Yeah. I guess here's the part where I start having some problems with what he says. So, America did supply weapons to certain groups in Syria, but there is no evidence that America supplied any weapons to Al Qaeda or ISIS, for example. What did happen is probably that ISIS and Al Qaeda took over weapons that were delivered, that were supplied to groups in Syria, because in a place of such corruption, first off, ISIS and Al Qaeda will take weapons from those they defeat, and those weapons will be American weapons. Secondly, you supply weapons and equipment to a very corrupt region where it will be likely that some people will take those weapons and sell them to others for a little bit of money. So it will end up in the wrong hands. But America didn't directly supply those terrorist organizations with any weapons or any ammunition or equipment. At least there's no evidence for that. David doesn't dismiss this as a conspiracy theory. See, I did. You see? There you go. Somebody said something about something. Let me see. Somebody said something about something. Somebody said something about something that I said earlier about some things. I initially thought that this guy was the priest at AP's church. No, that's not him. That's not
That'd be
him.
cool.
Yeah, that'd be kind of funny.
This the guy who said, "You're smelling the shawarma. You're smelling the kebabs."
Yeah. Somebody said, oh yeah, Mark said AP Zionism is incompatible with Orthodox Christianity. Since I just said it, I guess I can respond to it now. I don't.
How many times do we have to explain the same point that people keep bringing up?
That's okay. But so, Mark, when you say this, when you say Zionism is incompatible with Orthodox Christianity, what you are saying, probably arising from a misunderstanding or a conflation of things, is that a dispensationalist or a different form of Christian Zionism is incompatible with Orthodox Christianity. That's basically what you are saying. If you
That's
are
why you
saying,
sound really dumb.
If you are actually saying that Zionism in the secular sense is incompatible with Orthodox Christianity, I would like to see some receipts on that. That is
Yeah, Mark, for the 487,000th time. In what way am I a Zionist? Well, there are a bunch of Jews on a piece of land and a bunch of jihadis who want to annihilate them, and I don't want them to be annihilated, so I am on their side. So what you're saying is, well, I'm not in the Orthodox camp, but if I were, you would be saying it would be inconsistent. It would be incompatible for me to think that all these Jews should not be slaughtered by a bunch of Allahu Akbar screaming jihadis. That would be it's incompatible. I have to be saying, no, jihadis must slaughter all these Jews in the name of Allah. Seriously, dude? Come on.
You know what the funny thing is?
Read a book.
When I first announced that that I went to an Orthodox church and that I decided to become an Orthodox catechumen, there were lots of these online people
That's
who
Kate Schumann.
like to be anti-Zionist and anti-Semitic. Actually, let's be serious, and who were suggesting that I can't be pro-Israel or can't be pro-Jews or can't be pro-Zionist if I'm Orthodox Christian. And people were presenting lots of very disturbing things, and I thought, if so many people are saying this, is this based on some actual church teachings or something? I don't know. So I'm looking into it, and I don't see
it's based.
Yeah. I don't see anything. So I took this concern to my priest as a part of when he had a conversation with a monk together with me about my questions and my doubts and my thoughts about God and Christianity. After I was done with everything that I wanted to talk about, I also brought this up. I said that lots of people have objections to me online because of the publicity and all of that. Due to my stances on Israel, due to my support for Israel, for the state of Israel, my love for Jews, and so on. So I brought this whole thing up to him, and if there's any problem,
said, yes, it's incompatible. You can't love Jews as a Christian. You must not love them.
he said to me, "No, I don't want to, put words in his mouth, but
Good, because
basically,
he's not going to be able to put any teeth back in yours if you misrepresent him."
basically, what the gist of it was, he said, "Look, because you're online and because you identify with something, and lots of people become aware of it, everyone will try to kind of, mix into it and try to correct you and pull you into their corner and so on. There are certain things to know here, which is that there's absolutely no place for the first of any of the anti-Semitism here. I am personally against it. I oppose it, and we should all oppose it. What you are doing and what you are describing so far with your love for Jews and the state of Israel and so on, there's no problem with any of this. None of this contradicts with the church. None of this contradicts with our doctrines. None of this contradicts with dogma. None of this contradicts with anything."
So
And
what do you think of that, Mark? Who's AP supposed to listen to? You, some random Nick Fuentes groper, or his priest?
the funny thing is exactly this. Online, there were some of these Orthodox Christians who were like, "Oh, you should not talk about anything. You should be learning about your Orthodoxy right now. You should focus on your catechism and so on." Yeah, I am focusing on exactly that. And my priest, my spiritual father, is in charge of my catechism right now, and he's telling me there's no problem with your support for Israel. So
He's
who are you?
lying to you. He's lying to you. Who are you going to believe? Who are you going to believe? Your priest or Mark?
He said, "I went to Israel and I felt love and kindness and goodness, and our archbishop is very, very much open about this. Our patriarchate is very much supportive of the existence of the state of Israel and so on, and has had good relations. So there is nothing wrong with any of this. Don't let anybody tell you otherwise, and so on." This is the funny thing. So when I see people online trying to preach this whole, "Oh, you can't be Orthodox and Zionist and all that," it's like,
But
who are
the
you,
people,
man? Who are
the
you?
people, and especially Mark.
If honestly my own priest told me you can't support the state of Israel, or you can't be like sympathetic toward the state of Israel and the people of Israel and Jews and so on, and also be part of this church, I would have serious questions.
That's when AP would become a Baptist.
I would have serious questions about this. But my own priest is totally fine with it. My own church is completely fine with it. Please don't stop listening to people online and their perception of
Stop
Orthodoxy.
embarrassing yourself, dude.
John Rossi's mental hacker said, "Join Eastern Catholic, brother. The best of two worlds. God bless you, AP." Too late, man. Brother David could lay down. I think he means lie. Yeah, he doesn't know English, man. David is not very good at English. It's his second language. Have some respect. Cheerful Turtle Girl. Hi, dude. What's it like to read the words of Jesus after growing up with Islam? It's always interesting to me to hear how ex-Muslims encounter the love of Jesus and see God as Father. It is very different. Would be a long talk and long speech to go into, which I might do at some other point. But it is of course a very significant difference from how Islam is and how Islam treats you as a slave. Whereas in Christianity, the relationship between you and God is nothing like it. And it's nothing like the relationship. The relationship in Islam is also nothing like the relationship in Judaism. Nothing like the relationship in the Old Testament or the New Testament. Where, of course, in the New Testament, you get closer to the idea of having a direct connection and to Jesus and God as the Father and so on. But it is overwhelming. It's beautiful. I love it. That's all I can say right now. As an aspiring Byzantine Catholic, based Orthodoxy, says Gotop. Powerful. Nice. Peace be upon me. I cracked down watching Saul video of wiping your butt. That was hilarious, man. You mean the song? Yeah. Eric Serrano. Atheism is the devil, and he's the angel of light, the light that blinds you. Jesus is the light of the world, the light that will show you the way. Thank you. Appreciate it, Eric. Let's continue watching this.
Being concerned about our own country is considered protectionism today. I think that's just called being an American, respecting our founding fathers who intentionally spoke against imperial ambitions. And this is how we live. We try to rule the world. Very arrogant, in my opinion.
The argument from the rule the world people is we're trying to maintain enough, American influence and power to protect our interests.
Since it's here on screen, shout out to Lila Rose for this.
Who's Lila Rose? Is she known for anything?
I don't know who she is and what she does, but Lila Rose has this show. I'm not sure what exactly she's known for and what kind of a person she is, but she has this channel called Lila Rose where she hosted Father Josiah Trenum, so shout out to her. Definitely would recommend checking this out personally.
How do you know that's how it's pronounced? How do you know it's not like Lila Rose or something?
It could be Lila Rose. It's probably Lila Rose. You're probably right.
Sounds like a wine.
Yeah.
I want a cup of Chateau de Chatois and a glass of Lira Rosé.
We're trying to maintain enough, American influence and power to protect our interests abroad. Excuse me. And in your view, it's like, no, look, you're literally, the weapons we gave you are now being used to slaughter Christians.
We aren't who we think we are. We used to be a much more God-fearing, much more conscientious people. We have become a debased, immoral.
Did he say based?
He said we have become a based
country that has promoted. I mean, for goodness sake, sweetheart, we have an ambassador for the promoter of the LGBTs.
Had, right?
No.
He's still
Trump kept him in power.
This is interesting.
Yeah. Literally.
Excuse me, he's an ambassador to
Anyway, is there more about Islam here, or is this all about America? How bad America is? Let me see.
Hottest lead.
He didn't have time to stop. Come to pass.
So is he recommending to Christian families to
moderate Muslims
stick it out?
Our patriarch has been a champion of not leaving our home country and accepting whatever comes. But many of our people have come. So I have in my parish many Syrian Orthodox Christians who have fled Syria in the last 10 years, who are in my parish.
Are you in touch with any Syrian families right now?
Yes.
And how are they feeling about the violence that's unfolding around them?
As you can imagine, extremely uncertain. If you come to my parish, I hope you will visit sometime. It's a jewel.
You will burst into flames if you walk in there.
And when you walk in, you'll see beautiful white marble iconostasis, and beautiful white marble.
Look at this. The same guy here. Hey, you guys know all about Islam, but seriously need to learn more about Talmudic Judaism and Kabbalah.
Is this the same dork? He's a total groper, man. Get out of here, Nick Fuentes, and your little fake account. Come on. Seriously, you need to know, because I saw a meme from Nick Fuentes, and now I expert. You know. Seriously.
You know what's the funniest thing here to me? Mark here comes and says, "You guys need to learn more about Kabbalah," and then he doesn't even spell Kabbalah right.
Yeah.
Kabbalah.
Allah.
Kabbalah.
Yes, you need to learn about the Kabbalah.
And you also need to read the Talmud. I recently read it just in 2 hours.
You have to know that as Orthodox, you have to support the killing of all Jews.
I don't want to fight with people, man. So don't come here with this stupid Nick Fuentes.
Have you not blocked this dork already?
I don't want to fight with people. Okay, if look,
I don't care who's wrong or right. I don't really want to fight no
when I was an atheist, over those years, there was a very annoying trend among the atheists, among the new atheists. You know what it was? It was like, all religions are equally bad. Oh yeah, Islam, don't single out Islam. All religions equally bad. Christianity also has its problems.
Yeah, AP, it's a rule of atheism that you can't just go after the one religion that's calling for your death. It's a rule, and now we get to whine all day and harass you until you attack Christianity like
There
us.
was that trend. There was that stupid trend, and you know what it was? It was a waste of everybody's time and a very sick and stupid attempt to sound reasonable and smart, while it was doing nothing except helping the advancement of the Islamization of the West. And you know what there is going on right now. Right now, there are certain people who identify as or who pretend to be Christians and who are just as ridiculously stupid, useless, and idiotic, and honestly vile, and a barrier as those new atheists who were like, all religions, you are just like them. We are talking about the actual religion that is here, that is currently building compounds in cities in America as the next target to be Islamicized. The religion that takes over Western societies, where the preachers now go openly and say, within the next 50 years, we need to lead at least 3 Western nations. And you waste everybody's time with something as stupid and imbecilic and honestly intellectually retarded as, oh, you need to talk about Talmud. You don't even know what the Talmud is, you absolute moron. You complete imbecile.
Yeah,
you
dork. I mean, Mark.
Absolute dumbass. You don't even know what the Talmud is. You don't know what Talmudic is. You don't know what Judaism is. You don't even know how to spell Kabbalah. Get the hell out of here, man.
Yes, I do. You spell Kab Allah. Kab Allah. Subhanahu wa ta'ala. You don't even know about Kabbalah. Subhanahu wa ta'ala.
The only people that can rile me up nowadays, still, right now, over these last weeks, are these absolute retarded imbeciles who go to the groper route and like, oh, what about Israel, Judaism, Talmud? You people,
bunch of losers.
Your knowledge consists of online memes, you imbeciles. Get out of here. Stop annoying everyone. Stop annoying everyone. Stop being a.
I read the Talmud. I read the Talmud cover to cover.
We're talking about actual problems, about actual jihad, about world domination. They're taking over your societies, and you are sitting here. What about this meme about the Talmud? Go to hell, man. Gosh.
Did that go the way you thought it was going to go, Mark?
Anyway, I gotta block people like that from now on.
Yeah, then you don't have to go and throw your tantrum.
Anyway, let's get into some super chats here. So, what do you think about the speech, David?
Pretty based. It's on the based end of things. Pretty good. Yeah. Guys, good speaking voice, good cadence, seems knowledgeable. Good to have someone who's actually talking about Islam.
Our atheism moment. Yeah, he knows what he's talking about. He knows what he's talking about when it comes to Islam. when it comes to Islam. Anonymous, congrats AP on becoming a Christian. I'm Malankara Orthodox, and as an adult, I'm rediscovering the beauty of the Orthodox tradition. I'm loving following your journey as I relate to it on a certain level. Thank you very much. Appreciate it. GG writer Gadi Taub said anti-Zionism might be not anti-Jew if a globalist opposed to all nation-state self-determination. Most only oppose one nation state. Yeah, I mean, it's not very difficult to figure out. The people who have a problem with the existence of the state of Israel, or to have a problem with Zionism, usually only have a problem with the existence of one state. Only one state, not with any other state. Only one state. Any other state is somehow redeemable. Any other state can fix its problems. There's only one state in the world whose problems cannot be fixed, that must be eradicated. That is Israel. You just hate Jews. I'm sorry. Nilo for real. Well, I am a Christian and I love and support Israel and Jews. Guess that makes me a Zionist. Loud and proud. Azazel, imagine AP's priest joining us on stream and sending super chats. Anyway, God bless y'all. I'm sure he's very busy. Mumu Joe, why Zionist is a slur and offensive? What's more offensive, worshipping a pedophile or returning to your homeland? The funny thing is that this became a thing very recently. Like just a few years ago, it was a completely normal thing to be a Zionist or to express Zionism and all that. It just, over the last years, became this popular slur because of Nazis and Muslims.
Yeah, and they'll just apply it to anyone who doesn't think Jews should be annihilated.
Yeah.
He's a Zionist.
Jean Rostis also give a try to traditional Latin Mass. I know it's very based. I know it. Captain Lamb agreed with your assessment of Mormonism, just lumped it in out of curiosity. The Book of Abraham is one of the most obvious fakes I have ever seen. Yeah, I was talking trash about you, David, earlier, saying that you always say that Muhammad is the most obvious false prophet, whereas everyone knows that Joseph Smith is much more false, much more obviously false. But I guess you haven't changed your position on that.
No.
We should have a debate on that. Who is the more obvious false prophet, Muhammad or Joseph Smith? Hunter Verdon, thanks for coming tonight, David. Your presentation was extremely helpful, very needed, and much appreciated. By the way, my friend Nick thought that video was hilarious.
Hey, Hunter.
What video? Did you show a video?
Oh no, yeah. So Hunter was.
Why are you showing funny videos to people, man?
Hunter was there, and he said he's got this friend who couldn't be there, and the guy's becoming a cop instead. So he's like, "Can you record a video for him?" Like, "Yeah, I'm here with your friend Hunter. Glad you're not here, loser cop," and something like that. I made it clear that I have a dark past with cops.
Nice.
Cops don't like me. I don't like cops, unless they're really good cops.
Nice. I'm not really sure what this is supposed to be. What about the Noahide laws? What about them? They're pretty cool.
What about them? I heard that word. It sounds like it means something. What about it?
What did Noah do? He built a ship. Does this mean that they want to drown everybody? Asa says, sending love, boys. Thank you so much. Appreciate it, Asa. Marky Young, that priest also speaks a lot of nice stuff about Russia in the context of war. Sad. So brainwashed in California. God bless you guys. Powerful. I think he has wrong opinions on Russia, but not sure. Mikek, God bless AP. So glad you came to Christ in one of the ancient apostolic churches. Thank you. Appreciate this. Veronica, not me catching you finally live. By the way, Muslims during Ramadan, it doesn't count if you don't swallow. Thank you, Veronica.
Veronica is a fully Christian show now.
I like to take a Warhammer 40k approach to Christianity. So may Jesus, the God, Emperor of mankind, bless you with fertile seed and true aim. I've never played that, but I appreciate it. Stefan Milejevich, what's up, Stefan? Hala Radovan Idimirovich. Hope you have a good Easter that starts April 20th. Thank you. That's how you do it. White Lightning 777. Thank you. Adam Bowers. Much love from the Serbian Orthodox. Keep up the good fight. Thank you. And much love back to the Serbian Orthodox. David Wood looks like he's at the boys' sleepover party. Cozy psychopath, says Marky Young. White Lightning 77. Just focus on your studies and keep the Lenten fast. You'll be baptized before you know it. Time flies in Orthodoxy. True story. True story. Alhamdulillah. Mikek AP David just learned the false prophet Muhammad didn't remove an image of Jesus and Mary in Mecca, Kaaba, while removing the pagan idols. Thoughts?
That is interesting. Yeah, so guys, when he went around stabbing the idols and stuff like that, and then removing the images, and then he didn't with an image of Jesus and Mary.
Isn't that is it a Sahih hadith?
Where was that? I'm not. I mean, this was like 15 years ago. Was that Ibn Asaq? I'm trying to figure it out. You might want to search for that. I don't remember.
I don't know if that is a Sahih hadith or if that is a lesser tradition or if that is in the biographies only. Don't remember. If that happened, that would be it's kind of weird. Maybe we should talk about that some other time. But so you have the pagan society, the pre-Islamic era pagans who live in a pagan society and who, as pagan societies generally do,
be as inclusive as possible for everything. Yeah. Oh, you got your belief. We'll add that in there. You got that? Yeah. Let's add it in there.
They just add other people's beliefs to their own if the other people come to visit them and are cool and so on. So they might be putting up icons of Jesus and Mary in the Kaaba. And Muhammad might go in there and see that and perceive that is Jesus and Mary. This might also explain why the Quran wrongly says or wrongly misunderstands the Trinity and asks Christians why they believe that Jesus and Mary are gods besides Allah. Muhammad might encounter icons, the iconography of Jesus and Mother Mary, and he might think, whoa, look at this. They think Mary is God. They think Mary and Jesus are gods besides Allah, but they just eat food like everybody else. So this might have contributed to that big misunderstanding.
But this image of them doesn't eat food. It must be God.
This is the proof. I put food in front of this image, but the image didn't eat any of the food, you see.
It's God, you see.
Celeria Rosencrow. Hey, I joined the efforts to collaborate on the Islamic Dilemma Protect. It's called Project. You need to learn to spell. I'm sorry. And as I was blazing through Surah 2, I found a funny ayah. Thoughts 2138. This is for you, David. Do your homework.
2138.
2138.
It is one of the things is interesting on the different translations of this. You get some really, really completely different ones. So Shakir says, receive the baptism of Allah, in who is better than Allah in baptizing, and him do we serve. And then the Pickthall is, we take our color from Allah, and who is better than Allah at coloring? We are his worshippers, like he's the best at coloring. And then Hilali Khan doesn't even, it keeps it because it's not clear. And it says, our Sibga religion is the Sibga religion of Allah. So he translated it as religion. Pickthall translates it as color. Shakir translates it as baptism. Khalifa translates it as system. Palmer translates it as the die of God, and who is better at God than dying. Yeah, it depends. Who is that coming from? It will depend on the translation, because you get a bunch of funny ones. Who is better at God than dying? Who is better at Allah? Who is better than Allah at coloring? Who is better than Allah at baptizing?
Who is better than Allah at comedy?
Like, who is better than God at dying? You see, this is proof that Christianity is true, that Jesus is...
Wrongly misunderstands. I know I kind of overused some words there as I was speaking, but I'm sorry. I will not apologize. I'm sorry, but I will not say sorry. I don't know what Jeremiah here is saying, but whatever, I don't care. I don't really care. Ramos, can I recommend the writings of St. John of Damascus to you? He was one of the first to engage in apologetic arguments with Islam, which he called a strange heresy. His arguments are very interesting. I have already read it, and David did too.
We should go through that. I actually know a scholar on John of Damascus who knows all the stuff and has written multiple books on him or something like that. We should get him on one day. Talk about some stuff.
Yeah, I think I always forget. What does he call them? Hagarites or Ishmael? I think Hagarites.
I think Hagarites.
Yeah. He treats Islam as a sect of Christianity and as a heresy of Christianity, and calls them Hagarites, and talks about them in his writings. One of the earliest responses to Islam. Salt, David, Lila Rose was at the Blessed God Summit. LOL.
Oh, was she?
So you don't even know that?
No.
You didn't even notice her?
I mean, no. but I didn't notice lots of things probably.
Nice. Dylan Cantor, Matt Fradd spoke with a former Muslim turned Catholic today, and Matt believes Muslims worship the same God as he does. Well. He actually spoke with that person before me, and only published it newly. And guess what? I also spoke with Matt Fradd, and he's going to publish the interview that he did with me probably in a few weeks or so. Not sure if that question came up, though.
What if he thought it was too dumb and then he never posted it?
That's a good point. This might be true. That might be how it worked out. I don't know. Yeah, he talked to an ex-Muslim who turned Catholic. I never even heard of that guy. I don't know. Interesting. Post-Ramadan Abdullah. Well, this is the thing. This is one of the issues where the Catholic texts on catechism teach, and the church texts basically teach that Muslims worship the same God, which at best I can accept the statement that they intend to, or worship a God that is based on the God of the Bible, or that they intend to worship the God who they say revealed the Bible or something like that. But to say that they worship the same God is a little bit big, a little bit too much. Post Ramadan Abdullah, watched the Winger video. Now I'm not sure about Islam. Huh. I am the truth. Please expose Billy Graham's view on Islam. Who is Billy Graham? David, who's Billy Graham?
Guy who preached the gospel to more people than anyone else in history.
What?
But I don't know what he thought on Islam.
I don't know what he thought about Islam either. Why would we expose it? Celeria Rosencroix reminds me of Egyptian mythology, where you had the land of order, Egypt, and anywhere else, land of chaos. Powerful. Hungry Goat, Trump's tariffs will effectively set the world back to the 1930s. If the trajectory continues as it is, we're all cooked, and Israel will actually be the only free nation left in the world in some years. I'm not sure what's going on with the whole tariffs here. At first, I thought it was just a bunch of bluffing, but then Trump actually revealed huge tariffs.
Huge. The best tariffs. I make the best tariffs.
And the thing is also that the reasoning used when the tariffs were revealed was all wrong. His administration revealed a list of countries and the tariffs that they supposedly impose on us, but the tariffs are not accurate. They don't. Like, for example, it says the European Union imposes like 60% of tariffs or something like that, or over 50. That's not even true. The number that they present there is just a trade deficit. It's not the tariffs that they impose. So completely off topic, but not sure what's happening there. It seems a little bit weird what's going on.
It seems extremely weird. Here's the thing. Here's the thing, everyone. He has a business background, so he knows more than we do.
Yeah.
It looks like he's ticking everyone off and that it's going to cause lots of problems. He will be judged on whether this somehow works out or not. If somehow he's doing it and looks crazy and stupid, it looks like it's ruining everything, but it works, then people will say, "Oh, he knew what he was doing, and he'll look like a mastermind." If it just causes problems, people can be like, "Oh, what the heck is wrong with this guy?" The point that makes sense about this is the United States. It reminds me of the Star Wars war with the Soviet Union back in the day. The Star Wars program was not actually even meant to work. It was meant to get Russia into an arms race, building stuff for space, knowing that they would run out of money before we do, and then they would collapse. So you can have that sort of thing where it's, hey, I'm gonna screw with everyone in the world because we can take it and they can't, and they'll eventually get hurt enough to obey us. And yeah, it's going to suck for a while, but we can take. It's like when a store moves into a new area and then lowers prices massively to run everyone else out of business. Yeah, it's hurting that store in the meantime, but it'll eventually pay off. But right now, it looks like it's just screwing things up. But I don't know.
Hey, look at this. Jake Shields says. Jake Shields says she's too stupid to understand that the Jews aren't even really semantic. And this guy says, "Wait, does this make you anti-Semitic? Because honestly, that tracks pretty well."
Just imagine calling someone stupid.
Wow.
See,
Jews aren't even really semantic.
Oh boy, Jake Shields, man, Shields, everyone.
I mean, if you have severe brain damage, get it checked. And don't have opinions on the internet.
Ladies and gentlemen, Jake Shields.
Man, this guy is so dumb. Daniel Stan became is a member for 4 months. Nice. Andrew Morgan, Becoming Orthodox by Father Arthur Gilchrist, is a great book where an entire American evangelical church came to Orthodoxy through the Church of Antioch. Also, Father Josiah has spoken often against Islam. That's true. Alhamdulillah. That church is not, they're not traditional Orthodox. They're kind of considered Protestant or Eastern Protestant or Protestant Orthodox or something like that. But still, they went toward Orthodoxy. Rai. Father Daniel Siswev wrote on Islam baptized many Russian Muslims into Orthodoxy. He was martyred in his church by a Muslim man back in 2009. I have heard of him. He was apparently very, very offensive to people and also very Islamophobic. And he was killed by Muslims. Yeah. Why do others always get killed for being Islamophobic, but we never do?
It's almost like the jihadis deep down are scared of us.
Yeah, that's what it looks like. Shane Johnson, AP, you didn't read my base super chat last time. I didn't. Well, here I am reading it. So
it's pretty rude.
Celeria, may the Lord grant you peace and stability that you might grow in your knowledge and faith despite the challenges you face as a public convert, AP. Thank you. I appreciate that. Appreciate that very much. Haj Rayyan al-Ghazlani. But what about the Talmud?
That's funny.
Lime and stripes. We need to help IP stream. Low viewers. Oh
yeah. Yeah. Hey, let's all swarm. Let's all. Is he live? Is he still live, or is it too late?
Let's swarm his live stream and type "Jesus Christ is King" in the chat. Vegan Alex Jones, David Wood. Who is the greater of the Turkish ex-Muslim Christians?
Oh, he's still live.
He is?
Yeah, he's still live. Got 546 people.
Nice.
Biggest atheist fail ever. Rationality rules. Yeah, what is up with that dude's hair, man?
Wow.
The worst researcher ever. Yeah, that's what. I watched one video from that dude ever, and it was the single most. Yeah, we went through it. It was the single most insanely idiotic and ridiculous and deceptive video ever.
You see, David, who is a better ex-Muslim Christian, the late Pittsburgh Steelers legend Tunj Ilkin or AP?
Let's see. Well, that was in the 1980s, so he missed the awesome Super Bowl run of the 70s. So I'm gonna give it to Hatun, then AP second, and then legendary Steeler offensive lineman third.
Well, I mean, this is just straight treason. So, not sure what to think of this. Might have to kick you from the stream. All right. Now that David is gone.
Hey.
What?
Hey, should we blitz IP stream real quick for like 5 minutes?
Yeah, let's do it.
Say when, and we'll all head over there. What
Right,
should we say? What should we say that's funny?
Um,
Or should we something about Ali Dawa? Oh, they're all saying Christ is King over there.
yeah, say Christ is King. Say Christ is King. Islam fail.
Say Ali. Say Ali Dawa is the best Dawa.
Al Dawa best.
Ali Dawa is best.
Shitsu. Vag said, please invite Adam Sicker, ex-Muslim Sahil. Inshallah. You, my first ever super chat. Love you both. Have you talked about Dubai girls going missing? Thoughts? Thank you. Appreciate that. No. David, have you heard of Dubai girls missing?
No.
Well, you need to know about this. They're going to ask you about this. So,
No.
Syria, I want to.
hey, everyone's doing it, man. There's like, hey, yeah, that's funny.
Gotta check it out.
We can send a super chat next time. Nerdy fan, look at that. Perfect. That's perfect. Hold it. Good. All right, they got the screenshot. I'm pretty sure. All right, guys. Thank you. Fan is an alpha. All right, let's close this out. See you guys next time.
You made it to the end of this video,
come on.
which means this message,
man.
Come on.
if you want to see more content like people for Christ, you can help make it happen.
He was a
Your
dope. I
support
was
needs to
about to
be
drop
through
$100 super chat on him and make fun of him.
Come on.
Missed it by like 20 seconds. I was actually filling it out.
See, you lost $100 IP.
In your face, that's what you get.
In your face, man. Orthodox priests are often married, says Tadpole. Wife gets a cool title like presbytera, Greek, or Tessoni, Coptic. Bathe it. Gotta wear the black robe always in public, though, even if just at the store or streaming. Yep. That is the funny thing. It looks pretty based, though.
Basic.
Black robe. Pretty basically. So, David, if you want to become an Orthodox priest, you have to walk around like this all the time, just so you know.
I could rock that.
There you go. You have to walk around like this all the
Yeah.
time.
As long as it's all you have to wear and you don't have to wear like socks or anything else.
And
Like
walk.
this. You have to walk like this. See?
Mhm.
Powerful. Reading St. Augustine made me to come back to Christianity, he says, peace be upon me. The problem is reading church schisms like Council of Ephesus between Cyril, Kirill, and Nestorius. What do you mean the problem is? Do you think that's a problem to you, to read those things? Let me know. Pat's leather straps. Alidawa sent his follower Bilal to crash the chat. Drew Traver. I didn't know Matthew McConaughey is an Orthodox priest. Robert Michaels. Any aspiring writers should use AP's epic line. They should.
Which one?
I don't know. Any line that I say is epic by default. So, Gigi Ryder, AP Wikip says that Arabs of Palestine were displaced. How? By Jewish National Fund, crowdfunding, not violence. Arab tenants, it says. Accurate. Yeah, the thing is, you could say that lots of Arabs were indeed displaced after 1948. In 1948, many of them rightly and justly so. But the thing is, you have like over 700,000 people leaving the places where they lived. Half or even most of them left on their own accord because they were asked to by the Arab side because the war was going to happen. So and they were basically given the idea and promised that once the war is over and they have destroyed the Jewish state, they can then move wherever they want. So in the hopes of that, they left those places, but of course things didn't really go as they were promised. They had their butts kicked. And Israel then said, all those who left, you're not allowed to come back anymore. without doing this. Well, and then on different occasions, Israel did actively go from town to town, especially border towns, to secure places and said, you have to leave here and will be placed somewhere else, or you have to leave here entirely. We have to secure this place. We cannot have this border town be populated with Arabs after the war. And I mean, it's completely reasonable. Israel is attacked in an extermination war in 1948, and you expect them to just be cool with the rest of the population that remains there after the war? That would be very stupid.
And dumb.
Yes. But yeah, mostly people were displaced by Jews buying land. That's it. Susan Morales says the funny thing is,
yeah, it'll be like, I'll be like, AP, 7,000 people were just destroyed.
the funny thing is,
Not a meteor, and you'd be like, yeah. The funny thing is,
Mumu Joe, why Zionist is a slur or offensive? What's more offensive, worshipping a pedophile? I already read this. What's wrong with you? Mark H, why haven't you streamed with Ray Ibrahim yet? You're hiding, boy. See, David, why haven't you streamed with him yet? You're hiding.
no, I have. You should get him on. That dude is super smart and super knowledgeable about the entire history of all kinds of things.
I should. And Wakov, AP isn't being obedient to the Orthodox Patriarch of Groiperia. K. Alifi, Palestinian Arabs are extremists, and if Israel is gone, every church, shrine, relic, archaeological Christian site will be in danger. Just saying. Yeah, just look at the Christian population of Gaza. The Christian population of Gaza was at, I think, around 2,000 or so in the 90s, dwindled down to 1,000. Now there are less than 1,000 people, 1,000 Christians left, a few hundred Christians left, if at all. Of course, somebody would come and say, you see us because of Zionism, because of Israel. The bad thing is, at the very same time, while that was happening, the general population of Gaza increased by 3 times, threefold. So, Celeria Rosencrantz, to be frank, David, he didn't say 6:30, he said around.
Stop trying to defend it. Stop trying to defend it. Don't even say around. Just say 6:32.
Yeah, if you say around, then you're wrong. Love for AP and Daily Wire, not for Momo the Chomo. I'll watch later. Thank you, Sketch Therapy. Andrew, hello, Daily Wire and the Associated Press. Can you recommend me some books on Islam Jihad and some books on Christianity similar to C.S. Lewis's books? Thank you. David, what do you recommend?
Jihad, definitely Robert Spencer's History of Jihad. That's, keep in mind, that's different from like the concept of jihad and going through the Muslim sources on jihad. But you definitely need the history of jihad. And similar to C.S. Lewis's books, I mean, there's only one C.S. Lewis. But Chesterton's, people who like C.S. Lewis's books usually like Chesterton's books.
Chesterton. Speaking of Robert Spencer, I just got this book. And also speaking of Jews, he just published this book, I think. He was telling me about it when we last met at the debate. Anti-Semitism, History and Myth, Robert Spencer. Orthodox Christian, by the way, guys. Right, there you go.
Only because he apostatized from the Catholic Church.
Yeah. So he just wrote a book about this. I'm going to read this. I'm going to check it out. I told him I'm going to buy this and look at it once he has it published. But I think he specifically wrote it because of the whole.
Has anyone told him that he isn't allowed to support Israel?
Probably online. People came like, "Well, aren't you Orthodox Christian? You're not allowed to support Israel. You're not allowed to like Jews." I always would recommend for Islamic History X would always recommend In God's Path, Robert G. Hoyland. Best book I've ever read on Islam history topics. Powerful. Matt, is conversion even viable for Muslims? P.S. Egypt can't go to Israel. The Copts have had their land taken for too long. Yeah, Muslims should all forcibly be converted. That sounded a little bit too serious. Yeah, everyone should convert to Christianity. All Muslims should convert to Christianity. Then the Middle East would be a better place. Marky Young, honestly, you guys need to learn more about atheism.
Really?
Haj Rayyan Al Ghazlani, the Irish were kicked out of 109 bars. Theo Wolfie, why does David have his dogs out?
I'm laying in bed, and you have a bunch of foot freaks here, AP.
Oh, look at his feet. Oh, look at his feet.
Peekaboo, peekaboo.
All right, time to leave. I'm still trying to go through these super chats. There are only 20 super chats left. David Wood has really skinny feet. David Wood feet are vegans. This is true. David Wood, you're hitting those poses. Have you ever considered being a foot model? Stoney Erickson, stop showing your toes, David. John the Press, by the amount of Christians who are against the only country in the Middle East with a growing Christian population is wild. This is indeed very, very funny. The only country where Christians are safe and where Christianity is growing in the Middle East and where Christians are overwhelmingly happy with life.
No.
And you have
That's the place where they spit on Christians.
They spit on him.
They spit on us the entire time we was there. And then they realized, oh, AP wasn't a Christian yet, so they stopped spitting on him. Just put all this spit on me.
Make a comparison between two countries. Lebanon, which was a Christian country and has now turned into a Muslim majority country because they thought they could just coexist with Muslims. Or they didn't think that, but they had to, basically. Christians are not very happy with life there. They're not very satisfied with life. In fact, it is one of the least happy countries. Life satisfaction is incredibly low, and so on. Then compare that with Israel, which is the Jewish nation, and check the statistics and the polls on what Christians say about life and how Christians answer the question, are you satisfied with life? Over 80% say they are happy. With Lebanon, it's like the opposite end. Child of Jesus. AP, I'm very happy for you becoming Christian. Thank you. Thank you. Appreciate it very, very much. Fat Reformed Baptist. Stop sitting every day. A wild Jibril appeared on your screen. A wild Jibril mouse goat. What is that? Mouse goat. It's a mouse goat. Gwyneth Isaac. First Saturday, then Sunday. Support Saturday, folks, okay? Yes, support the Saturday people. Hello, Yidi. Jews don't believe anyone need to be a Jew to be with God or be and do good. I wish other faiths would do the same. There would be peace. I mean, it's one thing to have different views on what happens to people, in their eternal fate, in the afterlife, and so on. It's another to simply treat other people with respect and all that. And Judaism does it where people are not demanded to believe in their own religion. In fact, are usually discouraged from converting to their religion. You do have the idea, however, that everyone has to believe in God and may not disrespect God and may not have idols, for example, in order to have a share in the afterlife. So you wouldn't, as a Jew, believe that that atheists have a share in the world to come. But you could, for example, accept that that different people who believe in God and who don't practice idolatry have a place in the world to come. So you too, I would say, would discriminate against certain people when it comes to the afterlife. How about that? Code 5601. I saw some comments you made about the church in Ukraine, and I feel like there are context you missed, especially with the facto split UOC and with the MP, because they feel betrayed by Patriarch Kirill, but are still etched. Yeah, I'm not sure what you're referring to. I made comments only briefly about. So there is usually a trend among those who want to be. I don't want to talk about this. who want to be loyalist and who want to accuse Ukraine of certain things and who want to delegitimize the legitimacy of the Ukrainian Orthodox Church. And I'm simply defending their right to exist independently from Russia. That's it. Hunter Verdon.
Hey, Hunter. Dude, do you know your name looks eerily similar to a certain other Hunter?
Yes. You see? Converting to Judaism is very hard, but possible. They try to scare you away. Yeah. It's kind of a funny tradition that they say 3 times, go away and think about it and then come back. So it's kind of funny. Hunter, my German teacher was a Mormon, so I have studied it. Similar to Nabil with you, David. From what I know about Smith and Muhammad, I'd say they are probably equally obviously false prophets, but Mormons won't behead you. There you go, in your face, David.
That's true.
In your face! Veronica, okay, sorry, David Wood. I'm Christian myself, just couldn't resist. I'll try better. It was a good joke, though.
Wait, what was that? What was that referring to?
It was about Muslims.
Oh, never mind. Yeah. Very rude. Very rude.
Keine Macht den Muselmännern. Holy Joe, do you think Orthodox Catholic reconciliation is more likely than Catholic Orthodox Protestant reconciliation? Yeah.
Well, who's been unreconciliated longer? Ooh, didn't think about that one, did you?
Ooh, you see. I think it is more likely for Orthodox and Catholic to get together first, though, before anything else. It's funny because recently, my beloved patriarch, there you go, I'm going to say it, Bartholomew, recently just said that the schism can be overcome and reconciliation can be worked on and so on. And some people were like, what? How dare he say this? We're supposed to be separate and hate each other forever. But I think it's pretty based, the idea of reconciling. David, if you're going to fart, at least mute you.
This is a bad storm, man. I'm worried about it keeping me up all night.
Domo, please don't miss the part of one.
They were talking about tornadoes here too.
Oh, nice. Don't miss the part at 1:03:23. Powerful. Did I miss it? I hope I missed it. Let me see. Tell me if I missed it or not. If I missed it, I'm going to go back and have a look at it.
Hey, you know what'd be funny? It'd be funny? All these patriarchs and stuff like that. When you mention them, you should start saying them all with like your silly Arab accent. That'd be awesome.
You see, Gojab says, "Was that a nuke?" That's what Syrian girl would say.
I thought
nukes the place.
Yeah, I pulled off the headphone earlier because it sounded like something was trying to rip through the wall, but I'm guessing there was just like water pouring behind it or something.
Somebody was trying to rip.
And I want to ask how your friends are faring, because this is happening right now. Syrian Christians are being chased down by ISIS jihadists.
When the leader of ISIS was coming to take the seat of the former president in Damascus, in the capital, he passed first through Aleppo, which I was just telling you about. I was at in 2010. And he sent a note to the archbishop there, who is the successor of my friend. You know what he said? I'll have your head. Yeah, that was the moderate current man
so
sitting.
Are the Syrian Christians, and as well as your bishop, are they fleeing? What's to be done?
Our bishop responded back. I was so proud of him. He said, "Come and take it, but I'm not leaving."
No way.
Yeah, that was his message.
Wait. He's come and take it. What?
Come and take it, but I'm not leaving.
Dude, that's straight up 300, man.
Yeah.
They said, Spartans, lay down your weapons. And then they threw a spear and killed the dude. And they said, Persians, come and get them.
Bishop, are they fleeing?
Just went fully united.
Our bishop responded back. I was so proud of him. He said, "Come and take it, but I'm not leaving my people."
No way.
Yeah, that was his message.
How does one respond formally to "I'm going to behead you"? does he send a text message? How did that communication
I don't
get
know
sent?
if it was text, but I don't know how the message came. But the message
So
came.
the jihadist lead,
He didn't have time to stop because he had to get to Damascus to see.
If they sent a message to Western politicians somewhere, the response would probably, I find this is deeply concerning and inappropriate, and I am sure that we can come to an agreement so that we can find a place here for your peaceful Islamic religion to settle and to take things over. But man, this is pretty beast.
Power over the country.
Communication.
I don't
get
know
sent?
if it was text, but our bishop responded back. I was so proud of him. He said, "Come and take it, but I'm not leaving my people."
No way.
Yeah, that was his message.
How does one respond formally to "I'm going to behead"?
Yeah, he was like, "Come and take it, and while you're at it, come and take these nuts."
That's probably not what he said, man.
Why is it?
I just want to see this one part again because it was very, very, very nice. I just want to see his face again.
The details of his faith practice, but you have a lot of Muslims like this who,
Yes, there
or
are.
a country like Jordan, where you
Yeah.
presumably have, Muslims, Christians, Jewish people, or Israel, Muslims, Christians, and Jewish people living together in largely harmony. Obviously, can be some friction around the edges.
Friction around the edges.
I'm not sure I would describe the coexistence of Christians, Muslims, and Jews in the Middle East as largely in harmony.
I'm playing it.
The face, man.
Okay, not largely, but to a good portion in harmony.
Is it mean to call Muslims? Thanks. No, it's the same. It's the same word. I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah, it's just a different spelling. It's a phonetic spelling.
Yeah, it's a different. Yeah. Chameleon, aren't Orthodox the first Protestants? How dare you?
They were like,
You
"We
are-
reject what you're doing, Catholic Church."
You're opening a whole can of worms here. You better don't do that, man. You better don't do that.
Hey, Orthodox should be like,
We're the true Protestants, the original ones, not these fake Protestants who came along later.
I mean, the Orthodox do have a point where they say that the Catholic Church adopted certain things that were agreed not to be adopted later on, and added things to the creed that were agreed not to be added to the creed. We agreed on these, so why would you do this kind of stuff? What is this? What is this, man? Can't do this no more. So that's what the Orthodox basically did, and walked away.
basically did.
Yeah. There was a moment in the 1400s where the schism was almost ended before the Ottomans took Constantinople, before they stormed into Constantinople, where the Orthodox actually went with a delegate to Rome and discussed uniting under the Catholic Church, under the Pope. Eventually, it didn't happen because I think one person or several people objected to it. So since there was no full agreement, they eventually didn't do it. Yeah, that was Florence. There was the Council of Florence, Council of Fiorentina, where they were thinking of uniting, but it was mostly a pragmatic move because the Orthodox knew that the Muslims are coming and they're going to overrun them and possibly take over Constantinople. So they were thinking, let's just unite and fight back instead of having a schism. It didn't happen. One wonders how things would be today had that happened. Soldier of Christ, David Wood, AP. What do you guys think of Tim Keller and John Piper? As a Presbyterian, they have been really helpful for my faith. I miss Tim Keller. I have no idea who either of these people are. David, what do you think about them?
Yeah, I know a lot of fans of Tim Keller, but I've never followed anything by Tim Keller. John Piper, I've seen a lot of Piper's stuff, but yeah, Piper's cool.
Nice. Noise. Noam MKW, have you seen Gideon Levy getting exposed for interviewing on Jackson Hinkle's show? It went kind of big in Israel for a day or two. Yeah, I saw it. He's a Haaretz guy, isn't he? He writes for Haaretz, or he appears there. And he actually was invited by Jackson Hinkle for his show and went and appeared on an interview with Jackson Hinkle just days before Jackson Hinkle went over to pose with the Houthis and speak at a Houthi rally or something.
Smart.
And then this Gideon Levy was like, made a post online saying, I hereby apologize. I didn't know who Jackson Hinkle is.
You know who Jackson Hinkle is?
But the thing is, the guy is a journalist who's writing for the leftist newspaper in Israel for Haaretz. How did you not like at least do like 5 minutes of research on who is inviting you? So stupid, man. Joshua Petit, IP, run away, you see. Wait, you shouldn't pee while running. I don't think you can actually do that. Mark H, who is better at a lot than coloring?
Coloring. You can't even read, man. Learn English.
Something is with me today, man.
How did you become a citizen, man?
Already early in the stream, I had difficulties reading. I don't know why. I don't know what's up with me today. Who is better at a lot than coloring? Sounds like he's in a special needs class, and the teacher is saying he's doing a really good job. Robert Michaels, the numbers can be reduced. Comeback should be used. It should be. Christina, David, you say you expect apostasy rates of 40-50% in 5 to 10 years. Is that your prediction for the US or the West in general?
Oh, it's not that I expect it. It's just, I mean, because things can always change, and a bunch of things can change. Like the new atheism falling out of favor can affect the apostasy rates, because some of the people who are leaving Islam were because of the new atheists and so on. But no, it's just if the apostasy rate shot up this much in this short of time, it looks like they're going to increase. But
that sounds pretty beast. That sounds pretty beast. Hey, this is a good point. Sunrise in Paradise says, get your wife to read for you, AP. Reading isn't manly, just ask Tate.
That's true.
I've recently I haven't been very attentive to the great Andrew Tate's teachings that reading books is for losers and for gay people. So, yeah, I should pick up on that again. Cars in Depth, you should have Edith Barr on your show. Doing that right now. Inviting Edith Barr right now. Not sure who that is, but yes. Okay, doing it right now. Edith Barr. Okay, doing it. Ryan Kim, I've never screenshotted so many times in my life. You see? Because of David's feet. Cam, be careful. That owl might feed you grapes, David would, with your feet poses. LOL. Mrs. Alidawa says,
I'm gonna get Smiles to Jenna to feed me grapes with his feet in it.
Mrs. Alidawa says, yeah, there's the right stream in it. User Turtle Dog, super sticker, thank you so much. Peace be upon me. I mean, how first church councils affected the Christianity and led to splits and end up in OOEO, Catholic Church and Protestantism. Any thoughts? I don't have any further thoughts on this. We talked about it way too much. David, what do you think?
Mm-hmm.
There you go. Stefan Thomas, some would say moderate Muslim is without ammo. Yes. Urinating Boom says Muhammad was the most destructive person. Wait.
Urinating upon one another. That's what they do.
Muhammad was the most destructive person in history, worse than communist tyrants. Just imagine world history without Islam, how much BS it caused. Yeah. Yep. If we ever have time machines, I will go back and kill Muhammad and come back. And I'm only saying this because I know that time machines will never exist, because it doesn't make any sense. Coffee House Dialogue, Islam, it's Molon Labe. Yes. Mrs. Alidawa says, yeah, writing this on my whiteboard, yeah? Don't know how to put this board allocated all around. Please help me, maybe, yeah? Gwyneth Isaacs, girls go to Dubai, get kidnapped, and in harems. Yeah, don't go to Dubai.
Don't go.
The general recommendation is that you shouldn't go to Dubai unless you're super filthy rich and you just have lots of money to spend and you want to do random dumb things in Dubai. Otherwise, just don't go there. Don't go to any of these countries. Dubai does make some steps toward secularization and modernization and all of that, but at the core, it is still Dubai. That's what it is.
Hey, we should go to Turkey and go to roll up in the
No, we shouldn't.
roll up in Hagia Sophia and say,
We're taking it back. What's up? What's up there?
This is mine now.
Free Hagia Sophia.
Free Hagia Sophia, you see. Yeah. All right. Anything else, David?
nope.
Well, I did say if I get baptized next year, I'm going to take back Constantinople. So, and also heal the schism and unite the churches. So we just have a be on the lookout for that. Once I get baptized, we will get Constantinople back, and the churches will unite. All right. Anything else, David?
Nope.
What are we doing tomorrow?
Going live and doing super based stuff,
Based.
humiliating everyone who disagrees with us about anything.
Based. All right, man. Then thanks everybody for watching. Today was a very short live stream, I know. Very, very short. Didn't have more time, unfortunately. Where's my goat, man? Man, where's my goat?
That's what Muhammad said.
Where's my goat? Where's my goat? I can't find my goat. Where's my goat go? It escaped. How can it escape? What about my needs? Anyway, it's gone. Can't find it. But thanks everybody for watching. We will be together once again tomorrow, and then also on Saturday, and then also on Sunday, and forever. We will never leave. We will always be here. Never gonna give you up. Yeah. But as always, as the goats always said, like to say,
Stay away from Islam.
powerful.
What?